Hello, friends. This is the spiritual counselor. I want to appreciate every one of us who have been subscribing ever since we began this podcast on understanding the element connected to our bloodline and how to tap into the authorities of these elements. I want to say a very big thank you, even to those who have been sharing what we do here, and also those on Instagram. I want to also say thank you. So last time we talked about the fire element, and I told us that the fire element and the earth element are correlated. Sorry, the fire element and the air element are correlated, just as the water and the earth element are correlated. And so we talked about the characteristics of the fire element. We want to talk about the air element on this podcast, on these episodes. The air element. What do we mean when we say people have a strong connection with the air element? I've always said that for this podcast, you would always need a jotter wherein you would jot in some of the things, because spirituality is not just about the kinetics of it. There is the kinetic aspect of spirituality, which is the practice, which is the formation of things. Take water, take Coca-Cola, not take bitter cola, join it together and fight your enemy. That's the kinetic aspect. Beautiful. But you must understand also the knowledge aspect of it. The aspect of it wherein you need to have an understanding. The understanding. Philip asked the centurion man, asked the man by the roadside, he said, do you have an understanding of what you have reading? Understanded that which thou readest. So this is why I always like to teach some of these things, such that when you begin to have manifestations of giftings and the manifestations and encounters of in the spirit realm, you would have an understanding of what you are seeing. Many persons, God gives you revelation, God gives you vision, but perhaps you see things, you just cannot understand what you are seeing. So we are talking about the air element, the characteristics of the air element, especially to those who have this element strongly in their bloodline. The first characteristics of the element you must understand is that these people are deeply spiritual. They are deeply spiritual. The air element, in as much as you cannot bring them together, which is what spirituality is. Spirituality appears to be very abstract, but it's also very tangible. They are the force upon one. Someone who has a very strong affinity with the air element in his or her bloodline has a way of igniting the passion of the longing for the things of God within you just by his or association with you. They come in form of, they have a way of igniting revival. When you hear people talk about revival, most of those who have carried out very successful revivals are those whose bloodline is deeply connected spiritually with the spiritual element of the air. These ones have great access to spiritual mysteries. Number one. Number two is that these people are deeply very intellectual. The air element are very intellectual. They are very intelligent people. These are persons who always want to find out, why are these things the way these things are? Why are they like this? They have the longing to learn. They have the desire to understand things beyond the peripheral, beyond the superficial presentations of those things. They are deeply intelligent. They have a sense of reasoning wherein it goes beyond the conventional psychic of things. The air element. These personalities, they could come into a place and they begin to talk, and you'll be wondering, hey, this person, when they have knowledge, they want to know. It could be just biro, but someone who have a strong affinity with the air element would want to understand the formation behind these biro, this thing. They are very inquisitive. They are very adventurous. Air element. You see, for the F element people, when they want to do things, they have to plan, they have to strategize, they have to. Air element don't have such time. They move in the light of how they are feeling. And of course, I told you that every element have their flip side. Most often, by virtue of this their movement, they may always end up not the way that they had planned or they had proposed that it will be, but they go with the flow at the time. They do they an air element can just wake up in the morning and tell you, oh, I'm traveling, I'm going somewhere. They are moved by the sensation they feel at the moment. They are very spontaneous. They are very momentarily. They are very adventurous. They don't wait to begin to plan things. They say, if as long as that thing align with their values or align with you, are they are there. They are there. That's it. Air elements. An air element is just like the bird. They move from one dimension to another. One dimension. The Bible talked about the wind. It said that, for you shall be like the wind, wherein no man knoweth where it cometh or where it goeth to. The air element. And these persons are very enthusiastic in nature. Very enthusiastic in nature. We're going to be talking about some of the authority within these persons, these bloodline, these elements, and how to sharpen that authority. Stay with us. We'll be right back.